I literally didn't think there'd be another stop before the border. We're at another military checkpoint where you gotta stop, get out, let them look at your paperwork for apparently no reason. Not sure why there's so many stops along this road, so hopefully the next one will actually be at the border.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Well, we had finally finished our checklist of maintenance items on Goose, and after over a month of exploring, it was time to bid Bolivia farewell and head again for Brazil. Dust storm.
All dust, yeah. There's so much water, but then the water ends and then boom. Gonna get a little dusty today.
The first day, we made it about 175 miles from Santa Cruz de la Sierra to just outside the little town of San Jose, where we found a place to tuck in for the night. So it's 9:30 now, and we're heading out of a little tiny town called San Jose, heading towards Brazil, and we have about 1,200 miles till we get to where we want to be, so I think it'll take us a couple of days.
Yeah, if you, we're heading to Porto Joffre, and to get there you need to take the Transpantaneira. So we're going to the Pantanal, you know, the region in Brazil, really biologically diverse, maybe see jaguars, and that to me would be just mind-blowing to see a jaguar.
Yeah, this morning we saw a monkey and something that looked like a javelina.
Yeah, well I saw it.
Yeah, I don't know about the javelina, if I got that on video or not.
But I mean, it was spot on javelina right out of like Tucson or something.
Yeah.
So it's we have a hell of a lot of miles to do. And yesterday we had the best road we've been on, I would say, since I don't know,
Ecuador?
Panama.
Yeah,
Ecuador, probably Ecuador. But I mean, it was concrete, not even asphalt, and just perfect.
Yeah,
and
great.
That's the road all the way to the Brazilian border if you go straight. We're not going straight. We're going up to the Pantanal. And so the road we're going to start on today, I guess, we heard from Joe and Josie on Instagram, and they were going around looking at the Jesuit missions, and they said the road we're about to take is horrible. So the levels are horrible. You don't really know. You know, it's like, is it a 10-mile-an-hour road? Is it a bumpy 40-mile-an-hour dirt road? I mean, if you can do 40 or 50 miles an hour, you can get places. You know what I mean? You can spend a day and knock off a few hundred miles. If you're not knocking off at least a few hundred a day and you've got 1,200 to do, it's going to take a while. So I'm hoping we can get away with like 40 miles an hour or something all day. Yeah. Put in a couple long days and find ourselves in Brazil pretty soon. We've been in Bolivia almost a month and a half now. Yeah. By the time we leave, it'll be a month and a half, right?
Yeah, probably about that, yeah.
So it's been cool, and it's been so unique. But also we're heading into where the fires are. So not the northern heart of the Amazon fires. There's fires down here too in the Pantanal, I guess. So it's going to be smoky. Last night it was kind of too hot to sleep until probably 11.
Yeah.
Maybe later, yeah. So, you're going to be hot, you're going to be sweating, you're going to have smoke in your lungs. It's just the nature of it. So normally we kind of avoid paved roads, but once you're hot, sweaty, and you've been in it by that point, I'm going to guess it's going to be 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I hope not that long, but if we don't hustle, it's going to be a 2 week in the smokiness.
Yeah,
so,
and it's really hard to find a place to camp along this road at least, because it's a lot of Mennonite colonies,
Yeah.
and so everything's fenced off,
Yep.
and it's just fields and
in emergency, I'm sure you pull up to one of these fences, and I'm sure they're really nice and would welcome you in, but it's not one where you just go, hey, look, a dirt road, let's go off-road down it and
Yeah.
find a place to camp. Everything is fenced with big locks, big gates, and so, yeah, I think getting into a new region that's a little more wild will be nice, so we can
Yeah.
actually camp wherever we want.
so we'll update you. Seems like in Bolivia there is a toll for everything. Like this little road is going to be dirt and crummy, but yet we're paying to go on it somehow. So for all the maintenance that's clearly going to be done on this road.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize those corrugations, they
Yeah.
put those in. They have a machine. I hear they don't have a machine. That's why it's so expensive. 10 Bolivianos, you're paying for a little guy to go along with a little hoe and just rake in little bumps. And really what that does is it prevents tire wear, because half the time you're in the air, dancing along the tops of the whoop-de-doos.
So knowledgeable.
Yeah, the more you know.
Okay, update. It is now 10:30. We've been driving on this wonderful, well-maintained, not bumpy at all road.
It's cost us 10 Bolivianos to drive this, so which is roughly the same rate that you pay for this much mileage on the super
nice
nice
road.
paved ones. So they're clearly taking all the money from this toll road and just
Not doing
spending it
maintenance.
elsewhere. Yeah.
Today's first podcast, car talk.
During the day as possible. And if they're not fixed, well, we'll try again when the customer brings them back to complain. I mean, that's right. Total corner.
It's 1 o'clock now. We stopped in a little town where we can get gas, local price, which is cool. So we filled up, and I'm having a little snack of tortilla chips and Coca-Cola. So good. Haven't had real tortilla chips in a long time, so pretty excited about that. But yeah, I think we're just heading on bumpy dirt road again. I think it's another toll and maybe a military sort of checkpoint. We're in the middle of nowhere, so whatever it is, it's not big, but I'm guessing we'll have to pay again to be on a crappy dirt road. So one little tip that has been really helpful is I keep a folder, and with every country you have to usually get like an import permit for the truck, and you have some documents for yourselves, and so keeping all of that together is really nice. I also have copies of like our passports and our driver's license, all of the things that you normally need at border crossings, and so we can just bring this with us and have most of the copies you need. You always seem like they want a copy of something they just stamped, but it's been really helpful. Right now we're at the checkpoint and they want the paperwork for the car, so had to pull it out. But yeah, pretty handy. So it's 4 o'clock and we finally pulled off. I'm exhausted. I don't feel very good right now.
Yeah.
Hot, headache.
It is hot. Fridge is nice and cold. That means there's cold beer in there. Tim blew a shock, but not the internals like you normally blow a shock. The eyelet on the bottom just snapped. Well, the weld snapped, and then banging along, it bent it pretty much straight. So the eyelet is now a straight piece of metal. So he's got 3 shocks, making his ride a little extra bumpy. So we'll be taking it easy tomorrow, and then heading for Brazil. We should cross, but it's a weekend, so you never know.
Yeah, apparently we can't get the paperwork for the car done at the border this border on the weekend. So, but I'm gonna make dinner. Hopefully that makes me feel better. And
Sounds
try
good.
to stay cool.
I'm gonna have a beer, and I know that's gonna make me feel better because it's cold.
8 hours later.
Good morning. We just woke up. We're trying to get an earlier start today to be able to cross into Brazil. But apparently at the Brazilian border, the immigration office is not open on the weekends, so we have to go into another little town. And the police station where you get your passport stamped is open on the weekends, but I'm not sure about the place where you get the temporary import permit for the car. So we could potentially be stuck there till Monday when that opens. But this was where we camped last night. It's just basically, I don't know what it is, a little pull off, maybe like a gravel pit for the road. So, of course, there's trash, because everyone dumps trash everywhere. But it was really hot and tons of bugs last night. And eventually, probably around midnight, it cooled down and was nice. And actually, you wanted covers on. So, not a horrible place to sleep. And I think we have 100-something miles until we hit the border, and then we'll see what kind of luck we have at the border, because it sounds like we might be stuck there for a couple days, so we'll see. First military checkpoint this morning. I think the next one will be crossing the border. So they just look at their paperwork. Sometimes they ask for money. We'll see. Tim's good about telling them no money.
12 seconds later.
Go 10 feet, stop again. This time I think it's the police instead of the military. So, not making much good, fast progress yet this morning. Is the police?
Hey, just want to say hello. But it's funny, he's got a book out and all kinds of stuff, and I show him all the paperwork, every other police checkpoint. Well, in the cities, they don't care. They just look at your ID and go, oh, you're a tourist, just get going. But out in the countryside, they're like, I need to stamp this, I need to do this, I need to do that. Occasionally they're like, some plata, and you say no. And the faster you say no, and the more definitively you say no. Then they kind of go, he knows, I'm not due a fee, damn it. But not all of them ask. And he was just like, turistas. And you're like, yeah, where are you from? And like, United States. And that was it. And I was like, is there anything else? He goes, I thought I go, no stamp, no nothing. But he had this book out with all this information. And he didn't take any of it down.
Stop and register.
Stop, register. And you don't dare go flying through those. So, yeah, I don't get the rules here. It seems like in the countryside, they're much bigger on the stamps and filling out this booklet that is like, it is
Santa's
a massive,
list.
It is like Santa's list. How many people in the car? Where are you coming from? Where are you heading to? What cities did you visit while you're in the country? What type of truck is it? What color is this truck? What's the plate number? All stuff that they have on the sheet of paper, but they rewrite it down each time. That guy had the book and went, see ya. Like, all right. So I don't know. I won't say anything makes sense, but up ahead, we don't want to film when we get there, but you can see the military checkpoint. And so this little yellow card is just proof that we were checked out back there in the town. So why Why we need it up here, I don't know, except that maybe they went to the furthest point out of town where there's no roads going around it, and they make sure, hey, if you're exiting the town, you talk to the guys up front and register in the book, right? Why we don't just register here, I don't know, but this is our pass apparently. And to our left is Brazil.
Yeah, 2 blocks that way.
Yeah.
I literally didn't think there'd be another stop before the border. We're at another military checkpoint where you gotta stop, get out, let them look at your paperwork for apparently no reason. Not sure why there's so many stops along this road, so hopefully the next one will actually be at the border. And another one. I don't know, what is this, like 5 now? Crazy. That one took a long time.
Yeah, they were young and they were curious and they were so nice that I just, you know, you always kind of get suckered into it instead of, you don't really feel like getting annoyed or anything because they're just like, that's your home? Because they ask you all these questions. What are you carrying in it? Where are you heading from? How many passengers in the vehicle? And I say, you know, mi esposa. And they go, your wife is in the vehicle? And she lives in it too? And you're like, yeah, we both live in it. Well, what are you carrying? It's a house. You know, ropas, comida, like all the different words you can think of the things you're carrying. And then he stands up and he wants to walk over and check it out. Okay. So they want to look, and you know, they could ask you to look at it, right? So if they're looking in a positive way, you want to be like, oh yeah, you know, it's a mess, but here it is. So that was cool. And then I told him, I said, do you want to be on YouTube? We make videos for YouTube. That's our job. Because they always like to know that you're doing some sort of a job, I think. Otherwise, it goes down the path of, oh, you're all so rich in America that you just travel the world. Like, you all just have money, right? So we try and always mention we work. We are always working. We're, you know, just to, not to lie, but just to give them, okay, that's what you do. Got it. All right. And you live in this truck. And a lot of times they'll even go, gosh, that little truck is your home? And you're like, that's my only home. You know, that's where we live. And they go, oh, wow. And they almost feel bad for you in a way. And it kind of turns the subject to something else. And now they're curious. Yeah. And so we said, you want to be on YouTube? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, can you take a photo of us?
On our way again.
On our way. See you for how long?
All right, we're officially checked out of Bolivia.
We're still in Bolivia.
So we're heading to the border of Brazil. From all the stuff I've read, it looks like we probably can't even get our passports stamped at this border, so we have to go like 100 kilometers, I think, to the nearest town to be able to do it. And we can get our passports stamped on the weekends, but we may not be able to get the car tipped. Yeah. So
depends who's write up you look at on Ireland, or whether or not they said it was open on Saturdays or not. But their lunch break, I think in Brazil it's 12 to 2. Here it's 12:30 to 2:30. So I think we're going to find that they're closed for lunch.
No matter what, yeah.
But if we can at least get them to tell us whether or not that next town is open, it'll take us at least an hour and a half or so to get there. So maybe we can get to that town as lunch is ending. And if we're lucky, get all of our Brazil paperwork. Although we have some of our Brazil paperwork. And Brazil is definitely easier than Bolivia. Not saying this border will be. As soon as I said that, I thought, nope, as soon as you think one's going to be easy, it's usually the hardest. But by rule, it's usually like easier. So, and it certainly was for us when we came in to Brazil the last time.
Yep. So
let's hope it's similar.
Cross our fingers. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We made it past the sanitary check into Brazil. We can't get our passport stamped until the town, so We're just waiting for Tim and Shannon to get through their check, and we will head for the town to see what we can accomplish. It's quite warm.
And hopefully we'll actually get legally into the country today.
Yeah.
No.
But there's paved road ahead, so that's pretty exciting.
That's amazing.
I don't know how long it's going to last for, but that's cool. All right, it is, I think 11:30-ish. We made it to the border. Might be almost noon actually. I think we have only a half an hour until they close for lunch. So we're getting the car, that temporary import permit canceled, and then we have to find the, immigration office, get our passports stamped out, and then we can head into Brazil, probably to not accomplish anything, but we'll see. Alright, so we got our passports stamped, and just as we suspected, the aduana is closed until Monday, so we cannot get the temporary import permit for the car stamped in. So we're going to figure out where we're going to stay in this town, or possibly just outside of town if we can find a place to camp, or a hotel, or something. And wait until Monday morning when aduana opens and we can get our stamp and leave. But Tim is just getting some cash right now because all we have are Bolivianos, and then we'll figure it out from there because I don't know where we're gonna stay. But at least we're legal. The truck is not legal yet. Alright, the saga for today has ended. We're very hot and sweaty.
Yeah, but we did a lot. We got up early. Cheers.
Cheers.
We did 130 miles of dirt road.
Cold beer.
Bumpy dirt road, but the real-time killer was all those stops, as you saw, military, police, everyone. But we got out of Bolivia before their 2.5-hour lunch break.
Yep.
And then we got into the Brazil side, but nothing in that town was open, so we left. They all told us to come to this town. We did. And we had a suspicion that maybe everything was closed here. Police were open, so we are officially passport legally
Goose
in the
not.
country. So walking around the next couple days, we won't be worried because we're here legal. Goose will have to wait until Monday morning. So we went to that office. The guy was super nice, man. People in Brazil.
Everyone is so nice.
So nice. Then we went to a hotel that was listed because all the campsite we looked at was 300 reales.
Yeah, it was.
per night.
It was like $40. So that's like $40 per person.
More than we're paying
a night.
here at this hotel for camping only. So we just went, whatever, well, let's get a hotel. There's a rodeo in town. All the hotels are booked. So this young girl at this hotel was calling around, was trying to figure it out, and then
They
she
had a last-minute cancellation, right?
Yeah, she refreshed her screen. So she's like, I'm serious. One just canceled. So we have a room, and Tim and Shannon have a room. So because there was one room here with a double bed.
Yeah.
And someone canceled. So here we are. So it's Saturday. We'll spend tonight, Sunday night. Monday morning, we'll get our paperwork done and head towards the Transpantanera Highway.
Yeah. That was a long day.
Yeah, but man, what nice people everywhere ran into to help
Yeah.
it. Like,
Especially because we don't speak Portuguese. So
no. So I mean, it's not. It's in any Spanish country, we are. You know my Spanish. It sucks, but I know so much more than I did when we left, and I can communicate with anybody as long as they speak really slow and don't get too fancy or slang filled with the words. Portuguese, obrigado. That's it. Thank you.
no falo Portuguese.
Yeah.
I don't
I say
speak Portuguese.
No Portuguese, and they go, ooh, none. I'm like, none. Espanol, and a lot of people say yes. The young girl is just like 0. Oh,
Yeah.
darn. Well, it's our bad. So we'll use Google Translate, and the moment you whip out your phone with Google Translate, the security guy at the immigration office and her are just like, yeah, cool, and they'll start talking into it or typing. Everyone uses Google Translate even here. So
Glad we're here.
yep, AC's working. It's very hot here.
Can you tell we're all shiny and sweaty?
Yeah, but the AC's working. The room will cool down soon as long
Yeah.
as we keep that little key in the thingamajig. So yeah, we're in Caceres. Probably butchering the name, but
I
whatever.
don't even. Yeah.
Yeah, we're stoked to be in Brazil.
Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like this episode. And come along next time. I promise we'll see some cool animals. See you then. Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's another and just as we expect.
Don't you turn it off on me. I have things to say. Look, guys, I have important things. I'm serious.
You want to talk to the camera?
I'm starting a cult, you guys. Kelsey's not in it. We're gonna wear Velcro shoes, cool little jumpsuits. It's gonna be good.